so many human beings are walking on the planet as if there is a puppeteer behind this whole thing called life. Their strings are being pulled all over the place, and we are constantly in a state of reactivity to this imaginary puppeteer. You are a human being that has agency and capacity to influence the world around you. The best way to do that is to develop a clear sense of self, to develop a discipline and a rigor around knowing what makes you tick, deeply trusting your intuitive guidance, and being able to move through feedback, through communication in a way that produces results that are interesting and meaningful to you. The gift of feedback is that we don't always see ourselves clearly. There is a perspective that a trusted group of human beings may have about me that I simply just can't see about myself. Not all feedback is created equally. So as someone who is committed to receiving feedback, I'm incredibly discerning around whose feedback I will listen to, whose feedback I'm available to. And that involves a fair amount of credibility. I'm open to receiving feedback from someone who's doing their own work of self-awareness, of transformation, of expansion, and of growth. Look, the world will give you feedback all the time. It is your responsibility to be discerning around what feedback is useful, meaningful, impactful, and valuable for you. As a leader of a team, as someone who is influencing and impacting change on the planet, you are a movie screen for projection. When someone says yes to leadership, when someone says yes to change, to transformation, to going out on the skinny branches of life, when you as a leader say yes to taking risks and doing things differently, you will be subject to criticism. That is distinct from feedback. It is your responsibility as the leader of an organization, as the leader of human beings, to support people in developing skills to do feedback well. When feedback is given from reactivity, it is often not as valuable as it could be when it comes from a sense of stillness, of clarity. Reactivity to something that is happening in a moment that sort of triggers you or provokes you and you have almost no control is a different thing from intentional, clear, productive, meaningful feedback. That doesn't mean that our reactions aren't valuable. That doesn't mean that when you have a reaction or an impulse to respond to something that it should be disregarded. It is just to say that if we are not in a deep practice of our own self-awareness and we are leading from or moving from reactivity, we should consider questioning our movement. We should consider questioning our directions. We should consider questioning our responses. Feedback is a discipline. It is a practice. It is not about reactivity. When leaders become skilled at giving feedback right now versus reactively, you can actually produce results that really make a difference. So you can express anger, you can express sadness, you can express fear, you can express joy, you can express creativity in real time and not have it come from reactivity. When we are living in a state of reactivity, where it feels like the world out here is pulling the puppet strings of our life, we diminish our power, we diminish our authority, we diminish our influence and impact.